Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I am a voice teacher. Today I will be reacting to and analyzing Hozier performing Like Real People Do live in County Wicklow. I can read. This video was brought to you by the concept of ice melt. If your front porch is really icy and there's been a snowstorm or something, consider using ice melt so that the ice goes away and then people don't fall and hurt themselves on all of the ice in front of your house.
I had a thought, dear, however scary, about that night, the bugs and the dirt.
First off, it's just unfair to be able to film in a place like this. It is so gorgeous, it's unreal, and it's kind of distracting me from his voice already. The other thing that's kind of distracting me from his voice is that it really looks like he is singing, but I don't see microphones. There's not one of these bad boys right in front of him. So I am curious how he sounds so good. And it looks legitimately live to me, like all of the little things in his mouth that his mouth does are lining up with the things that my ears are perceiving.
Why were you digging? What did you bury before those hands pulled me from the earth? I will not ask you where you came from. I will not ask, and neither will you.
I like that when he is singing, he doesn't open his mouth any more than he would for speech. If I were to mute this, I probably wouldn't have any idea what notes he's actually singing based on just looking at him, where a lot of times you look at people and when they are singing, you're like, wow, it looks like they're really trying to sing a high note right now. But with him, it just looks like he's speaking. And then you turn on the sound and the most angelic voice filters into your ear holes.
Honey, just put your sweet lips on my lips. We should just kiss like real people do.
I also like that his humming is not significantly quieter or louder than his singing. I mean, it's a little bit quieter because he's humming. It's different, and different vowels sound louder and different consonants sound quieter and all of that. There's some just kind of inherent with it. But it doesn't feel like when he goes to sing words that he's like forcing a lot more than he is with his hum. So how can we use that as amateur singers or people who are not Hozier singers? I think if you were to hum a song and it feels really comfortable, but then when you go to try singing that song, it doesn't feel as comfortable, ask yourself, am I trying to do more? Or can I allow the singing of the actual words to be kind of the same volume as the hum or the same placement in my body as the hum, where a lot of people don't do that. And that's sad. Let's have a moment of silence for people who don't do that. Yeah, it's gorgeous. He's just got such a beautiful voice. And like, so that's an E, which is right on a bridge for most guy singers. So it feels like we have a few options. We can either approach it really light, put it up in our head voice, kind of this Mickey Mousey thing, or we could kind of pull chest voice up, but he's not doing either of those. If we were to hum that note, I think that's probably closer to the approach that he's taking. I'm not Hozier, I'm just trying to be Hozier, as you can tell by my whole thing that I've got going on. But yeah, you do the hum, and I feel that is very heavy, but it's not like falsetto-y. Right? It's got some support to it. So if you kind of hold your breath and don't let too much air out, that feels closer to the tone that he's getting. But I think that a lot of times people hear the tone that he's getting and they hear that it sounds like speech, so they immediately go, oh, it must be chest voice, and I don't feel that in my chest. I'm not doing it exactly like he's doing, and we've got different voices. As much as I'm trying to steal his voice, like a Space Jam kind of thing, I haven't figured out the technology yet. So this is just a guess, but man, he sounds good.
Seeking, was there in someone that dug long ago? So I will not ask.
That has a little bit more of that. So I will not, but it still doesn't get all the way to so I will not. Tell me in the comments, what do you hear my voice do between those two examples? Because I'm still trying to figure it out, and I need to crowdsource information, and you are the crowd.
Ask you why you were creeping in some sad way. I already know. I would not ask you where you came from. I would not ask, and neither would you. Honey, just put.
That's the first one that does sound a little bit more like honey, honey, versus if we were doing the approach I was talking about before, we might start with the hum. Honey. Okay, so it's not supported. What if I add some support? Honey, honey. Versus honey, when you're singing on a bridge like this, you have a lot of different options, and I think it's important to try them all so that you can be aware of everything that you're capable of and just choose whichever is probably going to work best for you today, because day by day, you know, you might get better at doing it a certain way, and if you get so stuck in this idea of I have to do it this way because that's the only way I can do it, then you might not allow yourself to use colors that you might now actually be capable of doing physically, but just, you know, mentally you are getting in the way of being able to make those sounds.
Your sweet lips on my lips, we should just kiss like real people do.
That actually, I hear a little bit of extra breathiness. Ooh, so using the H kind of encourages a little bit less support, but he's still moving back down into a chest voicey sound quite smoothly. There was one little moment that I heard a slight little like glitch though, and I think that it sounds awesome with him. So when I'm doing it on my own and I hear those glitches, why does it sound like the world is going to end? Maybe it's a problem with what's going on in here, not with how I'm actually singing, but maybe it's the problem with my singing. Maybe I suck, I don't know.
I could not ask you where you came from. I could not ask, and neither could you. Honey, just put your...
So part of why I'm saying I like that he's opening his mouth as if he were for speech. If he was to open his mouth more, it would encourage more of that kind of yelly version. Honey, 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 honey. Versus if I open my mouth a little more, honey. It's hard to get the same sort of placement. Honey, honey. It's possible to get the same sort of placement when you open your mouth more as if you're getting that mixier thing. But Hozier does it this way, so we should do it that way. Like, duh.
Sweet lips on my lips, we could just kiss like real people do.
Yeah, like that. there's that little glitchy sound as he moves it back into the more falsetto-y kind of quality. He doesn't need to do that. If he wanted to not have that glitchy sound, he would probably just maintain his support a little bit more. And he's so good. Like, I've heard him sing well higher than this in a full voice that also doesn't sound yelly. I'm sure he's capable of doing all this stuff in between, so it's obviously a choice that he is making. Obviously. That guy rocks. He's sitting on a rock. His voice rocks. Sometimes when I'm doing these videos, I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over and over again. And sometimes I get in my head about that because I'm like, when I'm watching it back with me editing, I'm like, yeah, but you just said the same thing over and over again that you've done in every single one of your videos. And when people are as good of singers as Hozier is, and as most of the people that I'm reacting to are, they're doing a lot of similar things. So I'm going to say a lot of similar things. In general, people who are mixing really well, they do kind of keep their pronunciation more like speech. They do keep a fairly similar amount of airflow. They do keep a fairly similar amount of vocal cord closure. But, you know, I guess that's a me problem because some people still watch these videos. He's doing nothing wrong. He's doing everything in a very beautiful way, in the most beautiful place I've ever seen. I don't know how to end the video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. If you want to sign up for voice lessons with me, I have space probably. Go to my website, vocalease.net, E-A-S-E, V-O-C-A-L-E-A-S-E.net. Check your zip code.